to the Iron Man. Tony Stark / Iron Man is, of course, a living high-tech weapon and fighting machine. The mega-wealthy industrialist Tony Stark invents the sophisticated steel armor and is one of the most trouble-ridden heroes of the Marvel Universe Silver Age. Iron Man debuts in Tales of Suspense number 39. This is in March 1963. Iron Man is yet another of Stan Lee's many creations. Iron Man's early adventures are drawn by Don Heck and written by Stan Lee's brother Larry Lieber. Tony Stark is not a true superhero. He doesn't have superpowers. He gains his incredible abilities by putting on his electronically powered transistorized suit of armor. This suit of armor is equipped with jet boots and offensive weaponry. Stark develops the Iron Man suit while a prisoner of the Viet Cong. He falls into their hands after stepping on a landmine. He's badly wounded. The landmine explosion causes severe damage to his heart. At first, the suit of super armor keeps him alive. It has a built-in pacemaker device. Stark escapes from his Viet Cong captors and is helped by a black chopper pilot, James Rhodes, and then returns to civilian life as president and CEO of Stark Industries. Stark Industries is a member of the industrial military complex. Rhodes goes to work for Tony Stark and becomes his best friend. Now, Iron Man's favorite foe in the Silver Age is a sinister Oriental villain, the Mandarin. The Mandarin is a Fu Manchu-like super evil genius with a pet dragon, Fing Fang Foom. The Iron Man comic during the Silver Age is an odd mixture of political realism, shrill anti-communist propaganda, and fantastic superheroics. The Tony Stark character slowly evolves and becomes less of a Cold War-era warrior. Tony Stark's life is not a happy one. He is a very melancholic and introspective character. And Tony Stark suffers a series of romantic setbacks. His emotional problems sometimes incapacitate him. The Iron Man suit of armor has over the decades undergone many changes in design and color, and as well as its capabilities. All right, let's move on to Doctor Strange. Strange is a combination of the Golden Age comic book superheroes Zatara and Dr. Fate, as well as the 1930s radio serials and comic strip heroes Shandu the Magician and Mandrake the Magician. Now, Zatara is in fact the founding father of comic book super magicians. Zatara first casts his spell in DC's Action Comics #1. This is the same issue where Superman debuts, so Zatara goes back quite a ways. Now, Dr. Fate, which is another DC character that debuts in 1940, is a cross between a superhero and an occult detective. Doctor Strange begins as a backup character in other Marvel comic books in the early 1960s. Then the scholarly superhero sorcerer enters comics in a 5-page story in Strange Tales #10. This is July 1963. Doctor Strange is dreamed up by Stan Lee and drawn by Steve Ditko. The master of the mystic arts slowly gains in popularity, and by the late 1960s has his own comic book title. Now, his origin, the origin of Doctor Strange, is taken directly from Shandu the Magician, who learns his secrets of magic in the mysterious East. Stephen Strange finds his way to India, and after an accident which ends his medical career, he studies with a world-class mystic known as the Ancient One. Dr. Strange then returns to the U.S. and sets up shop as a type of freelance ghostbuster. His most frequent early opponents are Baron Mordo, who's a turncoat pupil of the Doctor's own mentor, the Ancient One. And then there's Nightmare, who is, a nasty Freddy Krueger-like strangler from the realm of dreams. Now, Steve Ditko renders the supernatural adventures of Doctor Strange in inventive ways. The art is similar to some of the techniques of the psychedelic posters of the era. Doctor Strange becomes, as I mentioned, he gains in popularity, and he quickly becomes the star of the Strange Tales comic book. He becomes a popular character with counterculture types, hippies, pot smokers, acid heads, and by 1968, the comic book Strange Tales is changed to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange takes up the Strange Tales lettering in June 1968 with issue 169. Now, there's a new artist that enters the picture in the late 60s in the Doctor Strange comic book, Jim Steranko. Steranko has a wide-ranging, eclectic group of interests. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He arrives unannounced at the Marvel offices in New York City with his portfolio. He just shows up one day. He turns up at the door. This is in 1966. Stan Lee is very, very impressed with the portfolio and first gives him the Nick Fury comic book. Steranko mixes the Marvel style that's personified by Jack Kirby with the techniques of Will Eisner. He also adds the flash of pop art posters, psychedelic art. He mixes in surrealism, bits of modern design, expressionism, and optical art, and brings the Marvel comic to the zeitgeist of the 1960s. Steranko really captures the zeitgeist of the Silver Age, the 1960s. He helps bring Marvel Comics to a new generation of readers, older readers, college students, art students, who begin to think of the Marvel comic book as an inspired art form. During the Steranko age, Marvel Comics overtakes the titan of the industry, DC, both in sales and prestige. All right, with that thought, we're going to take another musical break. When we return, we're going to get into the X-Men, Daredevil, and my favorite of all Marvel superhero characters, the Silver Surfer. But first, some more music. This is Metallica with a live version of the classic tune by Black Sabbath, Iron Man. Stay with us. This is God Rock Radio.